If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and it's expanded. It's expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's damn easy. Just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. While you're there, you're in the chat room. Jump on in. Join the conversation. Oh, Thursday night. Thursday night is here. I wonder what we're going to talk about. I wonder. Have you noticed we're not talking about Russia? Yeah, that's really gone to the wayside. Now there's a lot even saying, the left has pretty much debunked it by themselves. And at this point, when are we going to do away with the Mueller investigation and all these other committees that are wasting money looking into it when we know it's false, it's bullshit, it's fake? You don't even have to say it. Just shut them all down. Just shut it all down. It's a joke anymore. This was said, I was listening to a radio show today, and they had a guest on. I can't remember the guy's name. And he brought up a good point. You know, the media is not trying to wear Trump down. The left is not trying to wear Trump down. And then you're going to ask, well, who, pray tell, are they trying to wear down if they're not trying to wear Trump down? Well, that's simple. They are trying to wear down you and me. They are trying to wear us down to the point where we go, we just don't give a shit anymore. We can't take this. We've had enough. It's done. Over with. Kaput. That's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to wear and change a 70-year-old man. They're trying to shut us down. They're trying to get us to a point that we just go, I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm tired of it. I just don't give a shit. I'm done. No more. That's what they want. They want us to give up. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm not giving up. I am nowhere. The heck? Nowhere near. Nowhere near ready to give up. I got a lot of fight left in me. Man, freaking eBay's pissing me off. So I ordered something off eBay. And it says it was delivered. Well, I never got it. It was never delivered to my house. In fact, my mail hadn't even shown up yet. So now I'm fighting with all these idiots. Fun of me. But yeah, they want us to give in, to give up, to roll over. And I'm not done. I still have a good fight in me. I have a damn good fight still left in me. I'm not anywhere near ready to throw in the white flag. And it's funny, I was reading how, we're going to win in 2018. What are they going to blame when they lose again? Because I really got this strong, good feeling that they're going to lose again. What are they going to say if it happens? Just pamper me for a second and say, Jersey, you're right. What are they going to do at that point? I don't think they know what the hell they're going to do. They really don't. What are they going to blame? Who are they going to blame? What excuse are they going to come up with? They're running out of them. They're really running out of them. And why I do feel they're going to lose is they're pissing off a majority of Americans. They're pissing them off. They see the obstructions. I mean, the Democrats are out there screaming and telling everybody they're going to go and obstruct. And now, okay, they're out there, well, why isn't the wall built yet? Oh, Trump said it would be built yet. Well, you put every obstacle in the way. You've not been exactly cooperating. You've been actually quite the opposite. What are they going to do? Because I really think there's a damn good chance they walk out of 2018 severely broken party. They're financially broke. They're having massive trouble getting money. I think last I heard they're like $3 million in debt or something. They've pissed off middle America between the attacking free speech to attacking the Second Amendment to the violence being committed by the left. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of actual things the left are doing, not these made-up bullshit that the left is always running around, and this one's doing this, and that one's doing that. And they can never, ever, ever give an honest-to-God example. They can't show how their accusations are anywhere near truthful. Never seen it. So, a recent poll, an overwhelming 85% of Americans say freedom of speech is more important than making sure no one is offended. According to a poll published by Rasmussen report on Wednesday. A new poll released by Rasmussen revealed that 85% of American adults believe that the right to free speech is more important than making sure no one is offended by what others say. A mere 8% said they believe that guarding against personal offense is more important. God, this is weird. I'm using new headsets. And it's really, really weird. A mere 8% said they believe that guarding against personal offense is more important than protecting free speech. And that's scary that That's scary. That 8% actually feel that someone being offended is more important than free speech. 73% also agreed with the famous line often attributed to Voltaire, "I disapprove of what you say, but will defend to the death your right to say it." Another 10% disagree with that statement, and 17% said they are undecided. I am on that 73%. I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend your right to say it. I've done it before. There is people in the firehouse. I do not like this one gentleman. Me and this guy are basically like arch enemies. He put in to join the firehouse that I was a part of. And I showed up as a deputy chief from the first aid squad to the meeting. And the fire department was going, well, no one's turned in any notices with anything negative to say about him, so can we turn him down? Well, we don't want him. And I was like, you never sent one to the first aid squad where he is. I said, I'm his deputy chief. I said, I'm not going to say anything bad. I said, because technically, I went into some stuff and explained that even though I don't like the guy, I think the guy's a cocksucker. But even though I don't like him, there is laws in place that couldn't stop the firehouse from not letting him join. And a lot of people gave me some dirty looks over that, but it was the truth. And he ended up joining. And I've had guys in the past that didn't like me. But just because may not like what someone has to say, may not like the person, I'll still defend their right to say it. And that's what the left's trying to twist. They're trying to twist that of late. Yes, some of us have defended white supremacists and neo-Nazis for what they have to say. We're not defending what they're saying. We're defending the right that they have the right to say it. I hate doing it. Pisses me off. Our freedoms need to be defended, whether you like it or not. The poll that there is bipartisan agreement with regards to freedom of speech, despite overwhelming support for speech rights, Democrats are slightly less supportive as a group by protecting speech for those they disagree with than are Republicans. Additionally, 47% of respondents said they believe that most college administrators and professors are more interested in getting students to toe a specific political line rather than participate in free exchange of ideas. To get new ideas, it is not from everybody agreeing with everybody. You get new ideas by differing opinions, different ideas coming together as one. If it was left to liberals, the sun would revolve around the earth, and the earth would be still flat. I do not want to stop the... Man. I don't want to stop the conversation about global warming. I want to keep it going. I want to have that conversation. The left doesn't. Let's talk about how we can make our environment better. But let's do it without being assholes. I don't know. It's the left has to go to extremes, and then we'll accuse you if you make an analogy. Oh, they're just going to extremes. Oh, no, we're not. This one has me wondering what the hell is up. It really does, this next article. Olympics will allow transgender competitors for the 2018 Winter Games. The International Olympic Committee, the IOC, confirmed that it will allow transgender athletes to compete in whatever category they wish to participate in during the 2018 Winter Olympics, a report says. The IOC officials noted that they will not require athletes to compete in categories that match their birth gender, nor will there be any gender or sex testing of competitors ahead of the games. It has been reported. I have a question. How about ones that are going underneath sex changes that are taking banned substances that are needed for them to do a sex change, which will give them a advantage during the Olympics? How about the fact that in certain one of these categories, the other gender will have a advantage? Why are we even going to have male and female categories now? Because it's all intermixed. I don't know. With regards to hyperandrogenism in female athletes, there were no regulations in place at the Olympic Games Rio 2016. There will be no regulations in place at the Olympic Winter Games in 2018. As we are still awaiting the resolution of the Didu Chand case, the IOC recently claimed. That case concerns the Indian sprinter who is fighting rules that prevent her from competing because she exhibits female hyperandrogenism and has too many natural male traits which may give her an advantage over female opponents. She was banned from competition because her natural testosterone levels exceeded the IOC's rules. However, India is appealing the ruling. Hang on 1 second. Still working on the laptop, getting it all set up. This isn't the first case of female hyperandrogenism, whatever. The charge was also made in the case of South African runner who racked up a series of amazing record-breaking wins which eventually forced question over her gender. Some feared she might have been a transgender man hiding her statue. Others felt she may be violating testosterone level requirements to compete in Olympic Games. Tests were made, though not released publicly, and eventually the IOC decided she was female and was not breaking any rules. Rumors leaked out that Samania may have certain medical conditions, giving her some male trait such as heightened levels of testosterone. The testosterone level requirements themselves then came under fire for lack of scientific certainty. As the New York Times wrote last year, the arbitration panel noted science has not conclusively shown that elevated testosterone proves women with more of a certain competitive edge than factors like nutrition, access to coaching and training facilities, and other genetic and biological variations. Some worried that Olympic rules have not caught up to sports medicine and science, though more worried that with the rise of transgender lifestyles, the specter of unfair competition lurks. That fear has become fact in several cases in U.S. high schools, where biological teenage girls were pitted against teenage boys claiming to be transgender girls. The results of those encounters, predictably, were that biological girl lost those contests to the transgender student. And don't put it past people that wouldn't do that just to win. I mean, when it comes to competition, some of these people, look what they do to their bodies when they put these chemicals. They're using, horse steroids and shit to get a competitive edge. You don't think someone would dress up in a dress to get a competitive edge to win a trophy? I think that's where some people are not thinking. It's opening up for cheating. And it seems nobody has an issue with any of it. And that has me pissed off. That has me really asking what the hell's going on in this world. I don't know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow from a stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. Oh my God, that sounds so much better. I couldn't keep using those other in-ear monitors. Oh my God. Oh, welcome back. Let's see what we could do about this. Let's get the show kicking. Trump administration threatens to halt travel from countries defying DHS on deportation. The Trump administration is threatening to halt some of the travel from 4 countries refusing to cooperate with Department of Homeland Security on deportations. See, some of these countries, they think they're going to be smart and slick about it. What is it? Slicker than snot shit. And they're going to refuse. They think by refusing to take back their citizens, that's going to halt his deportation. Well, not always. DHS officials confirmed to Fox News that letters have been sent to State Department seeking that suspension of visas for some of these countries' citizens. A State Department official explained to Fox News that when we receive such notifications, the Department of State works to implement a visa suspension as expeditiously as possible in the manner the Secretary determines most appropriate underneath the circumstances to achieve the desired goal. Basically, we're going to stop you guys from coming in. You want to play games? This is how we'll play them. I think I just got hacked by Russia. I was uninstalling a program, and all of a sudden everything came up in Russian. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Putin's coming after me. Putin's upset with me over the Democrats, so he's hacking my laptop. The government officials refused to specify the countries that will be affected, but the dispute centers on countries refusing to accept nationals who have been deported or delaying their return. Somebody thought they were going to be cute and just play a game of, well, we just won't take their people back and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, I think there's a lot we can do about it. It's also unclear who exactly could be affected by a visa suspension. The Secretary of State is having conversations with those countries. We want to bring those countries into compliance. We want those countries to be able to take back their citizens, the State Department official said. We're having different levels of conversations with those countries and imposing different things upon them based on what we think will work best with those countries. Oh my God. We have adults in the White House and they're doing what they're supposed to do? Well, there's nothing we can do. They won't take their people back. We'll just keep them. That's Democrat. Well, fuck that. Fight back. Tell them we're not going to take it. Start playing Twisted Sister, Yeah, let me see. I got it stuck in my head, so unfortunately now you guys got to deal with it. Oh, I hate when things get stuck in my head like it just popped in my head. See, I didn't rush, and I skipped the commercial on you guys. Ha 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 ha. Come on. Trump ought to be playing this in the background. Yeah, that's right. We're not taking your people anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. It's exactly what the people were thinking when they voted him in. We're not going to take it anymore. Nope, we're not going to take it anymore. We've had enough. We got adults back in the White House. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And part of that is when it's time for your ass to go home, the party's over. Party's over, but you know what? You don't have to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here. You want to go to another country? That's between you and that country, but you ain't staying here anymore. Your time for your ass to go home. Oh, I'm glad to see they're fighting it back on these countries and not just bending over for them. So PayPal, speaking of bending over, is bending over. Well, they're caving in. I think they should. And they reinstated the accounts of both Robert Spencer's Jihad Watch and Pamela Geller's American Freedom Defense Initiative following outrage from supporters over their suspensions. Previously reported, Jihad Watch's suspension and the founder of the website, Robert Spencer, calling for a boycott of PayPal if they continue to bow to leftism. Many Jihad Watchers supporters took to Twitter to express their anger over the website's suspension. So I don't agree with you, but you're doing so. I'm going to suspend your account. That's bullshit. It really is anymore. So they don't like what you're doing or what you're saying? Well, don't listen. But then again, it is a private company. They do have a little bit of rights there. But them bowing down, well, that gets a little bullshit. PayPal is supporting radical Islam by suspending its relationship with Jihad Watch. That was from Sam Levine. Leftist assault on free speech continues. PayPal bans AFDI. I will pay off my card and change my payment with all major vendors. Folks, let's ask PayPal feel their stupidity. So PayPal becomes the latest company to discriminate against people who don't support their cute little liberal agenda. Which, if memory serves me right, that's owned by Peter Thiel, who's a Trump supporter. And it's just weird. But on Tuesday, it was announced by Jihad Watch that their account had been reinstated by PayPal. And the website's director, Robert Spencer, who stated, PayPal was inundated with complaints and cancellations of account from people who understand that my work is not hateful and that it is not hate to oppose jihad terror and Shahir oppression. And so they suddenly decided I wasn't a hate group after all. They wrote me PayPal's acceptable user policy in our user agreement prohibits individuals and groups from using PayPal for activities that promote hate, violence, and racial intolerance. If we become aware of a website or organization using our services that may violate our policies, our dedicated team of professionals conduct a thorough review. Ultimately, a decision is made and communicated to the organization. In this instance, we have made the determination to lift the limitations applied to your account associated with the acceptable user policy. This is absurd, of course. They never made a thorough review of Jihad Watch, either when they banned it or when they restored it. They just blow with the wind, and this isn't over. The left knows this and will blow harder. We will have to fight hard to retain our freedoms. I mean, it's the same thing they're doing against a lot of conservative pundits. Sean Hannity, you look what they're doing. They're targeting him harder than they ever before. You may think Hannity is one, but they're gonna go again. They're gonna just keep going and going and going. They're like the Energizer Bunny. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, can we ever win this? Will we ever win this? Will this be a fight that will be playing out till the end of time? I don't know. This is absurd, of course. They talk about hate and divide. And some guy was blowharding about that earlier today on Facebook, talking about hate and divide. Well, the only hate and divide I've seen is coming from the left. As they called Trump supporters deplorable, unacceptable. We've been called racist, white supremacists, Nazis, scumbags, just everything under the sun. But yeah, they're the party of tolerance. They're the party of acceptance. They're the party that is about bringing everybody together. And they keep accusing us of dividing and hate. What are they called? What the crap they're doing? Because the only hate I see is the hate that they're spreading. They're the ones that are saying that you can't work together. You can't coexist together with conservatives. They want to try to coexist with terrorists. Does that tell you anything? I don't know. AFDI, an organization founded by Pamela Greer and Robert Spencer, had their PayPal accounts suspended and promptly reinstated following public outrage. Pamela Greer on Twitter, PayPal banned me. It's like pre-war Germany. Leftists run amok. Another person closed my PayPal. Ironic that Facebook and PayPal suspend and censor while terrorists run free on both sites. Good riddance. And that's the funny part is, I've seen where Twitter and Facebook refuse to shut down admitted ISIS accounts, but then go after conservatives left, right, and center. And another person puts, it starts out with banning Nazis and the KKK. Then slowly, anyone who poses leftist agenda is shut down and banned. That's exactly where it's headed. I mean, it's always step by step by step. The gun's the same way. It's little steps at a time. And chipping away, just chipping away. They're in it for a long haul. The indoctrination is strong on their side. It's scary. Nothing says fascism like alt-left platforms shutting down conservatives. Pamela Greer wrote on her website, PayPal has restored AFDI's account. Thank you for calling and writing. You made the difference. You made it happen. These leftists must be exposed and held accountable. Thousands of retweets. I don't know how many phone calls and emails, but an hour after I posted the suspension, they reversed themselves. Now, there's been people reaching out to PayPal for their take on both suspension cases. In response, a PayPal representative stated, PayPal's long-standing policy is not to allow our service to be used to accept payments or donations to organizations for activities that promote hate, violence, or racial intolerance. Achieving the balance between protecting the ideas of tolerance, division, and respect for people of all backgrounds and upholding the values of free expression and open dialogue can be difficult, but we do our best to achieve it. Our team of dedicated professionals handle each case individually with a thoughtful, consistent, objective approach in how we apply acceptable use policy. As it stands, both Jihadi Watch and AFDI have had their accounts reinstated and are accepting donations. I think we're getting a bug in my house, I'll tell you that. My wife's just not feeling good tonight. Since she got home, she hasn't felt good. I know I'm at the start of a sinus infection. I'm trying to do everything I can to stop that. Because when I get those, oh my God. I've gotten sinus infections so bad, it's actually pushed my teeth down. Like an eighth of an inch down, I've had it pushed. Oh, it gets painful as hell. So I try to do everything, and I can hear it in my voice right now. And I could feel it in my sinuses. I'm starting to get it. And I'm not looking forward. Not that anybody goes, I'm looking forward. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh. Guess what? Time for a break. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else is there? Oh, if you want to watch a broadcast, if you want to watch a live stream, just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. While you're there, you'll be in the chat room. Join the conversation. Say hi. Say screw you. I don't care. Say something. And if you say the right comment, I might even put you on air with your comment. You never know with me. So, all right. I'm still... dumbfounded over ESPN. And now they're being asked, ESPN refuses to acknowledge whether or not it had plans to pull pundit Robert Lay off of the air despite the fact that he has the same name as an infamous Nazi official. In an email to ESPN, the Daily Caller asked if the sports broadcasting giant had a plan for dealing with Lay, considering the network had already pulled ESPN college football commentator Robert Lee from broadcasting a Virginia football game because he shared a name with Confederate general. Robert Lay was a Nazi official who was made head of the German Workers' Front after Hitler's ascension to power. He supervised the mobilization of foreign as well as German labor for war work during World War II and committed suicide during the Nuremberg trials. ESPN denied the initial report about Lee being pulled because of his name, but completely ignored the DC's questions about Lay. They responded with, "Thanks for reaching out. Who told you that is true? You seem very certain. It is not true that Robert was pulled from the game because of his name or that he was mandated to change. That is a lie. Any headline proclaiming that is false, but I will point you to an email from one of our executives last night to a New York mag that summarizes much of what happened." And then it gives a Twitter email or web address. "I've been told by many inquiring media that has helped them understand the full context. End of day, this was a private conversation with an employee about comfort level out of respect for him in the situation. This was about a person. That's it." When pressed again about whether or not Lay or other ESPN employees with names similar to Nazis or Confederate leaders would potentially be pulled off of air, ESPN responded with this message. "It was clear in what I provided. This was not about his name being offensive, and that is a lie. Thank you and good luck." ESPN has yet to respond to 2 more questions from the DC about whether or not Lay could potentially be pulled. Now that they're getting bad press, all of a sudden, first they confirmed about it and they were proud about it. Now it's, oh, that's an outright lie. We never, no, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. Before they were, oh, yeah, hey, we did it for the greater of the country. You know, how dare a Chinese person have a white name? That's basically what it comes down to. The organization was asked multiple times about whether or not it had plans to deal with Lay sharing a name with a Nazi, and at no point would ESPN acknowledge the question with a simple yes or no answer. Sports News only denied the initial report. Well, it's funny because I've heard several times them confirming the report. Now they want to deny the report. God, they just can't make up their own mind, can they? I mean, hang on. Sorry, I didn't notice there was a chat going on in the YouTube channel. My apologies. For my intro, it's a combination of 2 to 3 typo negative songs meshed together. Type O Negative is a gothic band. Their lead singer has passed away several years ago. And for the beginning of it, they got labeled and said that they were a racist group and all this. So as a joke, they did a whole song called Kill All the White People. So I thought that would be funny, to post that. I just thought that would be good. And then I forget what's the other song. I can't remember which one it is. I took bits and pieces of it and mashed together with a, sound bites. And sorry about that, bud. I didn't notice anybody was there. There's so many chat rooms all over the place. It's hard to keep up with every single one. I got a chat room for Speaker. I got a chat room for Facebook. I got a chat room for SHR Media, and I forgot there's a chat room for the YouTube channel. Ugh. I'll try to pay attention more closely from now on. So, and thank you for listening. And hopefully, you'll like the show and all that jazz. Yada, yada, yada. I'm never good at one of those. I am not good at self-promotion. I am who I am. I don't like promoting myself. I don't like hyping me up. You like me? Great. You don't like me? Okay. I'm doing this because, one, I enjoy it. Two, my wife enjoys me getting out of her hair. Three, I want to get an everyday layman's opinion out there. We always hear these highly educated, what it seems like some are trying to talk above everybody to show how smart they are. I want to talk to you and give you opinion and a view of how an everyday person looks about at it. From my conversations I've had with people way before the show, they agree. A lot of them have the same opinion, and they liked my ideas and how I think outside the box. So I just thought it'd be good just to do a show, and I felt that my politicians weren't getting my opinion out there, so I wanted to get my opinion myself. Tony, I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick, and I know it. So, where were these schools back in my heyday? I want to know where these schools were when you could tell the school what to teach. The UVA group wants Jefferson taught as an emblem of white supremacy. Students at the University of Virginia have issued a list of grievances to the college's facility, releasing a 10-point documentation that asks for minority quotas, as well as a mandatory classes that highlight Thomas Jefferson as an emblem of white supremacy. The document was obtained by Campus Reform and outlines the list of demands from the Minority Rights Coalition at the University of Virginia. According to the report, the students want the removal of all Confederate memorials, guns barred from campuses, and the addition of a plaque to a statue of Thomas Jefferson that more accurately describes his slave-owning history. Listen, I'm not trying to promote any of that, but it was a different time. They're trying to put our values on a different time frame. Are we going to go throughout history and start labeling all the ones that were slave owners? Are we going to go through African history? Are we going to start promoting the proper history of the slave trade, where blacks in Africa sold off their fellow tribesmen into slavery? Listen, these white men that went over there wouldn't last 5 minutes in the jungles of Africa. They wouldn't last 5 minutes. So they were buying these slaves from, residents of Africa. Tribesmen, their chieftains, were selling off, their members. And a lot of times they would sell off the strongest of the clan because he would be their top one that would challenge them, so they would get rid of them by selling them off into slavery. So if you really want to start labeling everybody with it, we could start labeling. How about the fact that a lot of the slaves didn't come from Africa? You know, the list goes on and on, the misconceptions. Well, we start looking at there's still a slave trade in Africa. Namely, the Muslims still have a slave trade going on, and they're enslaving fellow blacks into it. Blacks in Africa used to enslave European people. I should say workers. Let's make sure that it's more known that there was an equal amount of white slaves in America as there was black slaves. They just had a different title that never ended. They were told that they were indentured servants, and that indentured servitude never ended. Everybody wants to pick and choose just little bits. So if you want to do it, let's really open the books up. Let's really go all over everything. You're always blaming white people for the problems in slavery. Well, look to your own ancestors. They sold you off. Did they ever try to come rescue you? Damn, always blaming everybody else. And, oh, my God, we got to point to everybody that was slave owning. Did you know there was just as many, if not more, black slave owners in the South? The first official slave owner was a black man that went to the Supreme Court. But we ignore that part. I'm so sick of this argument. You're talking about something that happened how many years ago? How many hundreds of years ago it happened? Oh, it reminds me of the days we were enslaved. Not a single one of you have been in fucking slavery. So how do you know what it feels like to be enslaved? I've never owned a goddamn slave. I never would own a slave. So I'm getting tired of this bullshit. It's a distraction. Damn. When the hell did students get to be able to tell schools what's to be taught? I never got to tell my teacher what was going to be taught. I would have got told where to go in a heartbeat. Hey, Sarge, taking down a statue isn't going to change history on anybody. This is nothing more than a distraction. And yes, what are they distracting off of? Russia. Russia didn't work. It's fallen to pieces. North Korea and the nuclear comments didn't work. So now they're going to try to go back to their what they love to always go to. And accuse him of being a racist. That's what Democrats do. They love going to that bag, and they know it's gonna cause a distraction because the media is gonna run with it. They have nothing else. Nothing else. And they're catering to these groups that are not out for the best of the country. The sooner people realize that, the better this country will be. The sooner we can start correcting issues. Sooner we can start making things better. The sooner the Democrats get off their ass and start working together, the better it will be. They don't want to compromise. Supposedly, Trump went to the Democrats and said he would give, the DACAs amnesty. but they couldn't fight the wall. Oh, no, we're not doing that. No. We're not using them as bargaining chip. Well, by the looks of it, you might not only lose your positions, you might lose the argument too. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back in a few moments.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Well, most of the times I try, at least. Sometimes just you cannot make sense out of this crap anymore. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, if you want to watch a broadcast, you can just go to Reaver.one and click on SHR TV. And, well, it'll dump you right there where, well, there's a chat room you can go into, too, and join the conversation. You can also go to YouTube and search SHR Media. While you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date on all the great shows that we have going on. So recently on Senate Judiciary Committee, they sat down with the Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson. He's the famous Trump dossier, that fake dossier that was created. Well, he refused to do a public question. He refused to. He would only do a private, behind closed doors. Well, the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee says he plans to call a vote on whether to publicly release the testimony now. Senator Chuck Grassley was responding to questions from his constituents at a town hall event in Iowa when he was asked whether the public would be able to see Simpson's testimony. The answer is it'll take a vote of the committee to do it, but I presume that they will release it. Well, it doesn't seem like there was any classified information, as this dossier pretty much was almost made public. So I don't know why they needed a closed door. The guy played games and refused to answer pretty much any question anyway. He refused to answer who hired him to do the dossier to begin with. Well, let the American people, let us start seeing the proof. You know, the Democrats are going to fight against all this stuff coming to light because it's going to make them look like a bunch of fucking assholes. And pretty much the dossier was created, between the Democrat Party, McCain, Graham. They were trying to damage Trump. Well, it's done a little bit of damage, but not as much as they think. I think all this information ought to become, public matter. And what's funny is I still hear people, Russia. Please tell me. And I asked them, with all the leaks going on, they're like, oh yeah, anything negative, they got to get it out before Trump erases it. Where's the proof that Russia and Trump work together? And all I hear is nothing. Silence. Never hear a word. Never hear an argument. And it's like, really? That's all you got to say? You've been arguing, running your mouth, and you agree that if there was any proof, that immediately it would have been leaked out. And all you hear is, that's it. It's all you hear. No answer, no proof, no nothing. Just because there is no collusion. Well, first let's start out with, there is no law that says, there can't, about the collusion. That's the funny part. There is no law. And then there's nothing there. Come on. Where the hell did my show go? So I don't take any of that seriously, and I want to see all this made public. I want to see this testimony made public. I want to see what this guy has to say. Because now it's also coming out that he and this company, Fusion GPS, were trying to help with sanctions against Russia. I think they were trying to stop the sanctions from going in place. You know, he hired a supposed spy from Britain. I mean, the DNC hired someone and brought in outside the country sources to interfere in our election. They went to Ukraine to try to get dirt on Trump. So the whole time they were complaining about Trump possibly having a meeting with Russia when they did worse. But I don't hear no goddamn meetings and investigations into them. The chair was then asked if he would vote to release the transcripts. I don't know why I wouldn't, but I don't want to say so because I've never, in all the years I've been in Congress, well, I guess I've only been chairman of 2 committees, I've never gone through this process before. So I'm not going to answer your question until I get a firm footing on what the precedent is. Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, a former British spy, Christopher Steele, have been thrust into the spotlight as congressional leaders investigate the now debunked Trump dossier and the actors behind it. That, you know, you never hear any of the Democrats complaining about that. Oh, no. The 35-page document was used as the basis for the initial allegation that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia officials to defeat hang on. It just bugs the shit out of me, this does. Send it to you in a private message. I mean, how much longer do we have to keep dealing with this? Hopefully not that much longer. I mean, we're wasting how much money? There was more proof on Benghazi. There was more proof on the IRS scandal. There's more proof on the HHS scandal. More proof about the Fast and Furious scandal. And we've wasted more money on a fake dossier investigation. A fake interference in our election. Now even the Democrats going, yeah, Russia didn't hack us. Even though they ran, and John Podesta ran with it for how long? How Russia hacked us. Oh, wait a minute. Russia didn't hack them. Russia had nothing to do with it. If you notice, ever since one of our congressmen, I forget which one, went to have a meeting with Julian Assange, and he said, I will hand over my proof directly to the FBI if they come here. I have proof. All of a sudden, the Democrats went, oh, shit. Quiet. No more Russia talk. Quiet on the Russia talk. Let's get this passed. Well, you know, why do we have to keep going with Russia? We dropped it. We realized nothing was really going on, so that's been dropped. That's long gone. We don't need to talk about that. That'll be Democrats pretty soon. And that's the way they do it, you know. They'll try to get us on something else, and then the media won't really cover anything on it from there. It's... Oh. It's our country's in a clusterfuck right now. Clemson professor claims all Republicans are racist scum. But yes, it is the Republicans that are dividing. It's Trump that is dividing. It's Trump that's saying, no, Trump says we need to all unite and get along and put our differences aside. Oh, it had to been Paul Ryan that was, no. It's been Democrats. It was Hillary Clinton that claimed that all Trump's supporters are deplorable. Oh, no. It must... Wait a minute. That was Chris Murphy. Wait, wasn't it Howard Dean that said, you know, if you vote Republican, you're a white supremacist? Hold on one second.
that are dividing. It's Trump that is dividing. It's Trump.
Hey, welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, George.
Hey, how you doing, my man?
Pretty good. Yes, it's Trump that's doing the dividing, but I always hear him just saying we all need to get along. We need to get along. It's always, a liberal that's screaming about hate, racism and all this other shit. Oh, God, it drives me up a wall.
It doesn't matter what Trump does. He can give $1 billion to every person in the United States. Some way, somehow, the libtards would find a way to make a bad thing out of it.
Yep. I think someone said it earlier today. He could cure cancer, and they would complain about it.
Yeah, he would be taking money away from Big Pharma if he cured cancer or something like that.
Exactly.
Oh. No matter what, man, no matter what this dude does, he's been true to his word since he's been in office.
Yep.
And they got that stupid meme that's running around the internet right now where supposedly he was looking up at the sun during the eclipse. That was an old picture that was taken months before that he was just standing outside with his wife on the balcony of the White House. And these people are saying, oh, look, they believe anything that they put out there, man. It's
anything CNN, MSNBC puts out there, they just immediately fall for it and, run with it.
Right.
It's disgusting. But then we get told that we're the ones carrying water, and it's like, listen, I may be a Republican right now, but I wasn't always a Republican. I'm more, I'll say now, conservative as I get older. Beginning of the campaign, I was ready to leave the party. I didn't like the way they were acting. I did not like it. I'm not going to carry water for anybody. I'm here to talk about the truth and what I see. If Trump fucks up, I'll say Trump fucked up. I get so sick of it sometimes. So let everybody know a little bit about yourself too, since it's your first time calling in.
Oh, thanks, man. Long-time listener. Well, I would say the last couple of months when I first discovered you, I've been listening ever since. Or if not, I catch you on your your recordings. Big Sarge. I run Moab Radio, mother of all broadcast radio. We're conservative media or a conservative radio show. No matter, we're just like Trump. No matter what we try to do or what we try to say, we can't do anything right according to the left. I got a Saturday night show. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called our Saturday Night Insanity shows. It's quite raw. Our Monday shows are our professional shows, and every once in a while you'll hear me do what I call a little rant, like a 4 or 5 minute rant called Sarge Says.
All right.
Other than that, I'm listening to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Where can they catch you on your social media, Twitter, all that? Website?
Oh, yeah. Twitter is Moab Radio 101. And then Facebook is facebook.com/Moab Radio 101. So both those venues. And website's almost finished. A lot of good stuff coming up on board. We've got a whole brand new studio we're working on. So a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, I did studio. I remember when I started with like a little mixer and it had like 3 inputs. That was it. One computer. Right. Now I'm up to 2 computers, 3 screens, a 12 input mixer. Tablet, webcam, and a laptop next to me while I do this stuff. It's like holy shit! It just keeps expanding it. And I'm looking, going shit. I need a new computer for the broadcast.
I had just bought a new computer, and speaking of tablet, I was like, you know what? I need a damn tablet. So I bought it. I just purchased it right before I called in your show.
They're great. They are so. The one I have is actually through AT&T, and it's linked just like a cell phone. So I have internet anywhere and everywhere. My mom, she got it for Christmas for me. She thought she'd be nice because she got my daughter one before, and I was bitching and moaning that my daughter had one and I didn't. So my mom was
every
nice
time
enough.
my wife thinks that's the last thing I purchased for the studio, I'm like, oh, that's the last thing, honey. And she's like, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, well, I got the green screen going and all that, and my wife's just like shaking her head. She's like, at least you're not bothering me.
Yeah, I just actually last week bought 2 green screens, one for my guest and one for my behind me, but I'm having a little bit of a lighting problem, so I just bought some of those incandescent lights on Amazon. So hopefully that'll come on Saturday and fix my problem.
All right. Biggest problem I had with mine, I still have it a little bit, is the wrinkles in the green screen. Give a little, but working on that. Programs.
Great to be here.
Anytime, man. I told you, anytime you want to call in. It just, I'm kind of informal here. I don't know if you heard my background. I was an EMT firefighter for about 25 years doing that, and I got injured and, well, sitting at home doing nothing. I finally got into politics and didn't like what I was seeing, so I started a radio show up. And actually, I was doing podcasts, and my first one I ever did was, I shouldn't say the first one. The reason why I went live is Sean kind of pushed me into it because I was interviewing Chris Perantu. So he kind of forced me into going live. So Sean did. So I could do that interview live. And ever since then, it's been expanding.
That's how I first did mine. It was on Blog Talk Radio. I did it from my BlackBerry.
All right. I know someone, he doesn't do a radio show, but he does like a weekly sermon, and he's a truck driver, and he does it with his phone, and people call in, and I was like, dang.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then recently, I don't know, I'm sure you heard me talking on when I was on BZ's show, but I just beat cancer, and when I was going through chemo, I was off and on with the radio. First I started, then I took a break, then I started, then I took a break, and then I was like, you know what? To get my mind off the side effects of the chemo, I'm going to start the radio show back up. And ever since then, it's taken off exponentially, man.
Congratulations, man! I'm glad to hear you beat it. My brother was able to beat it. He's had some side effects from it. He had throat cancer, and they had to hit him with such high levels of radiation it destroyed his jawbone. Right. So he's basically, they had to yank all of his teeth, but he's wound up with a feeding tube for the rest of his life. But he's alive. Oh. He's alive and kicking and screaming, so he can't complain that much. My sister-in-law, she ignored a lot of signs, and by the time they finally found cancer, it literally was throughout her whole body, and 6 months later, she passed away. So, man, it's a fight.
It certainly is. And I would have never found it. I keep telling everybody this. I say I'm probably one of the very few healthy fat boys, out there on the market, because how I found cancer, and this is the second time I had cancer. The first time as well, I had gotten into shape, lost a lot of weight. I was back into muscle man, where I wanted to be, blah, blah, blah. And I got cancer the first time. Well, then, of course, you gain weight after cancer because your metabolism's all slowed down, your hormone, everything's all screwed up. And this time when I got off, I gained a little bit of weight too. So, or the last time I got off, I started gaining a little bit of weight. So I decided, about a year and a half ago to start getting back, or 2 years ago, right before I got to get back into shape. I did it again. And lo and behold, I got cancer. So I'm just like, you know what, Doc?
Stop getting in shape.
That's right. I was a healthy and happy fat guy. I'm just going to stay fat.
I always laugh. There was a comedian, Robert Schimmel. Very funny, man. Very funny. He got a television show, his own television show, got cancer. So he had to cancel it. Got cured, went back out on the road doing his stand-up. Got another television show. Got diagnosed with cancer again. It's like, son of a bitch. He gets cured, has another television show. Has a massive heart attack on his couch reaching for his remote control. Survives that. Now, at that point, I would have put the, 2 and 2 together and stopped trying to get a television show. He tried to get another one, and he was the passenger with his daughter driving, and they got in a bad car wreck and killed him. I'm just like, I would have stopped trying to get television shows after, like, the second cancer. I would have started linking it together there. Damn.
Yeah, I would put the hint for sure.
It's world's crazy, but it's even worse now. I mean, we got.
Where are we going? It's Joe. It's literally getting nuts out there. It certainly is.
Even my parents, who have always stayed away from politics, they've gotten into politics over the last couple of years. My dad was a U.S. Coast Guard, and he's appalled by what he sees with our government. And what got him involved was Benghazi. when they left those guys there, that pissed my dad off to no avail. And he's gotten involved then, and he's just watching, and he can't believe what he's seeing in this country, you know. The taking down statues, he's like, what the hell is this shit, you know? What did this statue do? And I laugh because a lot of people don't think about it. So it's a bunch of Democrats complaining about a statue of a Democrat that was put up by a Democrat.
The biggest oxymoron of them all.
Oh, exactly.
Moron.
Oh, my God, it drives me up. I mean, it just – I don't even know where to go with some of this anymore. It's scary. I was just starting to –
talking about coming down to Gettysburg and doing it here in Gettysburg. And the thing that they're not understanding about Pennsylvania, even though Pennsylvania is a relatively liberal state, you know, we got a lot of rednecks and gun-toting patriots.
Originally, I was born in Pennsylvania.
Oh, where at?
Levittown.
Okay, I'm in the Harrisburg area.
Okay. My in-laws live in Pocono Pines, so I have to go up there usually once a year.
But, you know, I mean, you're from Jersey anyhow. I mean, you're from Pennsylvania and Jersey. You know, this area is predominantly hunting area, so a lot of people, you know, they like their culture, they like their guns and ammo, and you know, don't mess with Gettysburg. You know, that's the point of the Civil War, man.
Gettysburg already came out and said they're not taking anything down. I don't understand how they can even say take it down. I mean, it's a Civil War site where the Confederates fought the Union. So why do you want to take down anything that represents both of them? And it's what the battle, you know, Confederates lost that battle.
Yeah, it was a turning point of the Civil War.
So why would they want to take down the big loss for the Confederates to help end? Well, it's just like my dad. We got talking, and I showed him how they try to burn that bust of Abraham Lincoln. He's like, what the hell did Abraham Lincoln do? He freed him. I'm like, no, Dad, you got to understand. They're teaching that he was a racist that just wanted war.
Yep.
It's scary how we're going into almost a Nazi Germany, and I hate using that analogy. I hate using it because everybody for everything anymore. Nazi. But
it's funny that they call alt-right Nazi, but they're even more Nazier than, if that's such a word, than the alt-right is. You know, they're worse.
Burning books. I mean, all right, they're not technically burning books, but they're taking. They're trying to take history away. They're trying to change history. They're trying to silence everybody. It's. I mean, what did they do early days of the Nazi movement? They were attacking opposing speeches to silence them.
Same thing had happened in Cuba. Same thing had happened in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, I don't understand it, and I honestly believe wholeheartedly, if the Democrats keep this path in 2018, they're going to have a major loss because they are pissing off a majority of the Americans.
Here's a funny thing. My co-host Zach, his grandma is a constant CNN watcher, right?
Okay.
And you know how CNN never says Antifa or Black Lives Matter or anything like that. They call them counter protest.
Yeah.
All right. So he asked his grandma, "Hey, Grandma, do you know who Antifa is?" And she's like, "No, never heard of them." If that doesn't speak volumes in itself, just because she watches the liberal left media, they have no connotations of saying Antifa or associating them with the alt left. You knew nothing who they were.
What was it for the Trump rally in Phoenix? There was that riot afterwards. From what I was hearing, CNN wasn't really showing much of what was like the negative of what was going on. They weren't showing where they had bricks, bats, you know.
Yeah, they were just showing the police macing them and pushing them and batoning them. It's like, you know, I thought the Phoenix police did an outstanding job.
Oh, yeah. Especially that nut shot they gave the one guy. That was just beautiful.
Oh, that was so funny. You could laugh for days on that. Oh, my God, I don't know how. I think I spit my rum and coke up all over my keyboard that night when I seen that.
Because to me, it was like he was being all cocky, kicking it back towards the police, and he steps back like, yeah, what are you going to do? All of a sudden, that shot hits. It's like, oh, man.
Felt like a ton of sack of potatoes, man.
Yep. They also said that, the police I was reading, the Antifa and Black Lives Matter, they had their own tear gas that they were shooting at the cops.
Oh, yeah, not to mention they throw that feces crap, too, and that acid stuff.
The urine. Well, how about, was it Boston or Charlottesville where the liberal TV reporter was attacked?
Yeah, I think it was Boston, yeah.
They don't care. I mean, that's what they don't understand is they don't care. They just want violence. And
there's a video circulating around, Joe, that where Antifa actually beat one of their own people to a pulp because they didn't know he was with Antifa. That's the mentality, man.
Yeah. Recently, a guy got stabbed. He put his hand up to block it. The guy was trying to stab him in the head, and he put his hand up and took the knife in the hand. And the reason that he got stabbed is the guy was screaming that he was a Nazi and had a Nazi haircut. So this guy gets stabbed just because of his haircut now? It's like,
right. I get called Nazi on a daily basis, man. I mean, I try to invite both perspectives to the show, right? Because it is, that's what America's about. You got to hear both sides of the story. And I've always believed in that. Hell, I fought for it,
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can't bring these people on the show. And if you do bring them on the show, like one time we had this one guy, we brought him on the show. He came on, and the first thing out of his mouth was F Trump, F the alt-right, F conservatives, and it hung up.
What does he think he is, like Baba Booey or something?
And I'm like, seriously? The tolerant left, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all clap for the tolerant left.
Yeah, now they're like, yeah, we admit we're not tolerant. We don't need to be tolerant. We're trying to stop the deaths. What deaths? That's why I love it. We're trying to stop the violence that's going to happen to us. What violence?
Stop the violence we are causing.
All right. There was that one punch thrown during a Trump rally. I think that was uncalled for. Actually, I don't want to say uncalled for. It was the white guy walking past the black Trump supporter, and he said something racist to the black guy, and the black guy stood up and punched him. All right.
Well, yeah, I can't say I wouldn't have if I wasn't him.
But the rest of them were, and even probably that one was, now that we found out that the left was causing it. And now there's questions about, what was I hearing today? It hit the news real big in Oklahoma, I think it was. There was some bombing that was stopped, some bank bombing. And then,
I just said that the other day. That's funny you should mention that.
And then it disappeared.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because we were saying that there's this picture circulating around right now that the Antifa folks are now getting armed, and they're dressing up like the militia folks.
Oh, the John Doe or something like that?
No, it was three people. They were actually. If you would look at them, you would think they were the militia guys.
Yeah, they call themselves like John Doe Group. They're the armed militia.
Yeah. I think they're called the John Doe Group. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's like but they're not a militia. They're offshoot of Antifa.
Yeah,
and Antifa is getting armed now, and they're dressing up like the militia guys. And here's what's going to happen. They're starting to get more organized, and I had said the other day, I said, I'm not surprised if they haven't talked about putting pipe bombs together or something like that to start trying to bomb some conservative or alt-right facilities. And I said the second thing is these guys are walking around looking like militia. Somebody's going to shoot somebody, and the mainstream media is going to pin it right on the militia guys.
Yep. But this was actually they stopped the bombing, quote unquote, stopped the bombing from happening outside. I think it's a bank in Oklahoma, and it was before Charlottesville, Virginia. And
was it Antifa?
No, they tried blaming it on the alt-right, and what happened is the parents stepped forward, and they admitted their son was schizophrenic. He was on medication, and they started blaming that the FBI trained the kid how to do it, talked him into it as they were working undercover, trying to bust a right-wing group, but they ended up pushing this kid into doing it. But what it comes up to, what the author was talking about is the kid had a mental issue. He was severe schizophrenic. The parents had his medical files sealed years ago, so only the FBI really could find out that he had it. But how many times do we hear when these people do these mass shootings anymore? It's a mentally ill person. And I hate sometimes wondering about these, but some of these situations that have happened over the last couple of years, even Charlottesville, that whole thing stinks to high heaven to me.
Oh, yeah, it certainly does. And didn't one cop come forward and say that, kind of came forth annonously? I was just
stand down?
Yeah, and they told them they were supposed to stand down, yeah.
They were to push the protesters.
Yep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They were to push the protesters directly into the counter-protesters, then stand down. Exactly what happened is, but it's all of a sudden now we got another schizophrenic that runs into a crowd with a car.
Exactly.
You start.
That's like that MK Ultra stuff, man. That's some conspiracy theory shit, you know.
Well, it's not hard to fuck with if these Adam from Sandy Hook shooting, another mentally ill kid.
The guy that shot Gabrielle Gifford was mentally ill.
Yep. The shooter for the theater.
Yeah.
In Colorado, another one. It makes me wonder sometimes what the hell is going on. Because if you notice back then, every time something bad happened with Obama, next thing you know, we had a shooting. And it was like...
Yeah. To get there, yeah, you're right. And you know what? What would be the perfect fall guy for that? Some mentally ill guy that you can just blame on, you know?
Yep. Exactly, and it's so easy. But I hate to go that conspiracy route sometimes, but it sometimes makes me... Go ahead.
No, I do too, but it's hard. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard not to.
It's just too many times I hear nowadays everything is a false flag. Everything's the U.S. government, but sometimes you got to sit back and wonder about it. You really do. But this whole Charlottesville, that I will say I think that's a whole setup from the left. You got another guy doing a video who says he saw the buses come in, and like one had nothing but like Black Lives Matter. The other bus that pulled in right behind was KKK, and they all got out together.
In the same damn parking lot. Yeah, I know. If that isn't inviting some violence, I don't know what is.
Well, what he was alluding to is that they were grouped together. You know, they knew each other, and they were there for a reason. And there's been talks that, Antifa's doing some underhanded shit, trying to cause violence. I mean,
we've seen something on Craigslist not too long ago that from Charleston, and it's funny because we had that active shooter situation in Charleston today, but they were looking for paid protesters, and they were paying them $1,500 a week.
Yep. Just recently, Antifa was picketing George Soros, one of his buildings, because they hadn't paid up yet. That's happened before. Black Lives Matter back in Ferguson time were picketing him because he didn't pay him quick enough.
Wow.
It's scary. I mean, if that's not outside interference, I don't know what is. When you have someone of George Soros caliber coming in and paying groups.
And another thing that they're famously doing right now, which is a huge alt-left tactic and an Antifa tactic, is blame everything on the alt-right. For example, like if a website or a statement comes out, or they find some people dressed up as Antifa, and they get in trouble, they'll blame it and say, "Oh, they were put there by the alt-right." So that's the newest and greatest tactic of the left.
I seen that. There was a video. I don't know if you've seen where the transsexual started a fight with a black guy.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about that Saturday.
Well, they're now saying that is a false flag created by the right.
Yeah. If they're not calling you a bigot, if they're not calling you a racist or some kind of phobe, they're saying it's your fault,
Yep. The phobias and the isms. It goes straight down the line.
Yep.
Oh, I can't. Holy shit. I got to take a break real quick. You going to stick around until after the break, or?
Oh, yeah. I'll close the show out with you tonight if you want to.
Sounds good to me. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio with special guests, Big Sarge, and we will be right back. Come on. There's the music.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catherine is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, with a special guest, Big Sarge. How you doing, brother?
Awesome, man. Great to be here.
All right, you get to pick a topic. You got any topic that you want to talk about?
You know, we talked about this Saturday. We really didn't touch base on it like I wanted to, but you know what? I've heard you mention it a few times, and you probably can relate to this as well. You know, the attacks on conservative media lately. Okay. I just seen Zuckerberg put a big thing out saying that, he invites every platform on Facebook for freedom of speech and all this other blah, 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 blah bullshit. And then I know my reach on Facebook, is hell. I was having 50, 60,000 people view my videos and watch my shows, and now I'm barely cracking 8 to 10,000. So I know mine has went down considerable.
Yeah.
And a lot of and I got banned this week guess what I got banned for? I had a picture 3 years ago on my personal Facebook. It had nothing to do with Moab Radio. I got banned for 48 hours on Moab for this. I had a picture of Elizabeth Warren when she got called out for lying about her Indian heritage, and I called her Pocahontas on it.
Okay.
And that's what I got banned for.
I find it funny because I have made a lot of... I'm Jersey. I'm rude, crude. And I've never got suspended. That is the first time. Never.
And it's only because the libtards went back. The guys... I got a little contingent here in Harrisburg that follow me around or follow us on every show we go or every platform we go on. And they try to lambast us. Of course, we're conservative. We're primarily conservative. But we do let the left and the right speak. We let them talk. I'd like to have my show like that, because it keeps the dialogue going. But, not when the left gets on, most of the left, it's like, they don't have a point. And then when you call them out on it and you try to engage in conversation, again, the name-calling comes out. Yep. So they've been complaining to Facebook about Moab Radio and about Big Sarge. They literally had to go back almost 2 years in my Facebook page, and it was probably one of the only few ones that I posted in public to find that picture, and that's what they got me banned on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so they had to do some research.
Now, I've been attacked by the liberals on Twitter and Facebook and everything, and the way I look at it is if they're attacking you, you're doing something right. Now, I've had a buddy of mine that's a liberal, but me and him can have an open conversation. We can actually talk about things, and that's what we love about it. And we understand that's the way you get new ideas. You need two opposing ideas to come together to form a better idea.
Exactly. That works no matter what platform you're on,
Yeah, but for my type of show, I'm trying to just give an everyday point of view of what's going on in the news. I'm not doing the news, but I'm giving you, an everyday type of person point of view. Where
and that's I like that.
For me, and I'm not trying to knock it, there's a lot of people that do something similar, but they're always trying to talk above you. They're trying to use big words to impress you, or for whatever reason they're doing it, and it turns some people off, where I just try to... Yeah. So I don't have a lot of liberals on my show. I do have, when people want to come on, especially military, I was very much brought up, respect the military, and I hate. Because I remember growing up, I was born in 1971, and I can remember military guys being spit on. And that my dad told me, you ever caught me doing that, he would disown me.
Right.
So,
no, I was the only one. I was a black sheep of the family. My whole, I grew up Democrat. My whole family was Democrat. They were anti-military, anti-war, the whole shebang. And I broke the mold. I was the first and only one out of our family to join the military. And I stayed in for 18, almost 20 years. Got out, and loved every minute of it. Got to see the world, got to meet a bunch of great people, and went and had a chance to go fight for my country, and came back safe and sound. And I wouldn't give it up for the world. If they told me if you had a chance to do it over again, would you? I'd say, goddamn right, I would. Excuse my French.
Hell with that. By the way, I never did. Thank you for your service. And right now, my nephew, he's 19, I think it is. I think he's in like 4th week of Army boot camp, and his whole life, all he talked about, from the time I can remember he started talking, I'm going in the military. I'm going in the military. Took him an extra year. He wanted to take a year off after he got out of high school just to see what life was about, and hey, it was like, all right. And he wasn't exactly thrilled with what he was seeing with the government at the time, so now he feels a little bit better that he's in there, and he's having a great old time. He loves it. My brother was very hard on him. He's like, if I could take my dad yelling at me, I could take a drill sergeant.
My stepson actually joined the Army to follow in my footsteps, and he's on his EPS, which it means he's getting out here in the October-November time frame and coming back home. So he served 4 years overseas in Germany.
Well, right now he got told he has the choice afterwards. He can go to, I guess it's Fort Dix because it's New Jersey. Well, that's where he was born. He said he likes the idea a little bit. He can come back here to Tampa. I forget the third option, or he can go to Germany. And we're all, even though we would love to see him come back, we all told him that he needs to do some traveling, see the world, grow up, and, just see the world yourself. Learn it yourself.
I went right out of basic training, and the Gulf War was going on at the time. So the ground war started the night of my 19th birthday on February 24th. I'll never forget it. And right afterwards, I redeployed back to Germany, and it's just right after the wall came down, so everything was still fresh and new, and we were still some of the first Americans in some of the clubs and some of the places. It was great, man. It was the best time of my life. I loved Europe. I loved Germany.
I know a couple guys in the military, and they all say that. But I wonder if you guys would love it going over there now with what it's turned into. I mean, it's not the same Europe that was there 5-10 years ago. It's changed dramatically.
They give a safety brief to my son. Like I said, he's over in Germany, stationed over there right now. When they give the safety briefs out to the soldiers, they include Antifa now in their safety briefs.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's a lot of people don't realize that Antifa started in Germany in the 1930s.
Yeah.
It's not an American group. It's a foreign entity. But we keep allowing these foreign entities to run their mouths in our country.
Right.
All right, here's a piece of news for you. I covered it the other night, and I think you'll find a little bit funny about it. You heard about Trudeau at the beginning of Trump's presidency. Trudeau said that they have an open border policy. Come on in. He'll accept the illegal aliens into his country. He's now begging them to stop coming in because they've overtaxed our system. We're a country of law. I about pissed my pants laughing when I saw that he's reversing. They've put military on the border. It's gotten so bad in some areas. There was rumors floating around the internet that as long as you can make it into Canada, you're safe. Once you're in Canada, you're safe. Because you also, when you go...
Sanctuary country, right?
Pretty much. But you ought to see what they get. I do a lot of games. I love playing games online.
Yeah, I do too.
And I was playing this one, and I can't remember the freaking name of it, but the guild I was in, the boyfriend, girlfriend, were from Canada. And we got talking, and they got talking about how they hadn't got their government check yet. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, we get a check from the government to pay our utilities. And then we get a check to cover our food and a check to cover our housing. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, pretty much everybody gets it. I was like,
that's crazy.
Well, then I started looking into it, especially if you go into the country illegally or you're a refugee. They give you like free housing, free food, and like $2,000 a month to live on.
Oh, crap.
They were looking and bringing in so many Iraqis and from the Middle East, the Muslims. They shut down 3 military bases, kicked all the military personnel off the base, and that's where they were housing a lot of these refugees coming in from the Middle East.
Wow, it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me, especially with Trudeau. Wasn't he at the G20 conference in pink frickin' or some type of rainbow-colored stocking trying to make a statement?
I wouldn't doubt it with that, man.
Seriously, you go to a dang major summit where all the leaders of the world, that's when old Trump pushed what's-his-face out of the way. That was funny as hell. Trump, anyhow, we'll get to that in a second. But, I mean, here we have Trudeau, who's supposed to be Prime Minister of Canada, supposed to represent your country, and he wants to make a fashion statement and a political statement by wearing rainbow-colored socks.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past him.
And look, I don't care what you do in your own time. I've always said that. I got gay friends, and I've got whatever the hell you want, trans friends, people that I know, that do that, and they're good people, But they'll be the first to tell you, hey, be careful, because people like us, they have an agenda, and they're more notorious and they're more vicious than any persons from the alt-right or conservative movement have ever been.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple friends that are gay and all that, and like one of them said, he hates what he sees in the media because most of the people that he knows that are gay, they want to live their life. They don't want this big exposure. They want to be left alone. They want to be able to live their life. They don't want anybody telling them how to live their life, but they see these gays going on TV and trying to force their lifestyle on everybody else while complaining about nobody's taking their lifestyle. It seems like a double standard when it comes to that. And there's some transgenders I know, they're like, we don't want the big publicity. It puts a negative connotation on us.
It certainly.
Say again? You there, Big Sarge?
Yeah. I said it certainly. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. It certainly does. And you know what? And it's funny because, San Francisco, was it San Francisco? I believe that was the city about a month and a half ago where they had that big, during Pride Month, they had that parade there. I mean, you got naked dudes swinging in the wind, walking down the street on a Pride parade. And you remember that little girl that was covering her eyes, that picture? I mean, what kind of persona are you, or what are you portraying to the rest of the United States and the rest of the people, in the world, when you're walking down, you have a little bit of makeup on, you're walking down the street buck naked where a 10-year-old girl can see you. I mean, how freaking ridiculous is that?
They go to such extremes right now that it's actually destroying their own movements. It's knocking them back a couple of years where, like you said, I don't give a shit what you do in your bedroom. That's your personal opinion. If you want to go to a beach and go, damn, I want to take that hairy ass home, more power to you. It's and when it comes to the gay marriage, I'm to the thing of, if I got to be penalized and, go through this hell, they should too. I got to be suffering. My wife's asleep, so I'm safe saying that right now.
So fine, so.
But you know what I mean. I don't care. I really don't care. Go ahead, get married. Go ahead. I mean, it's not. I love my wife. I love marriage.
I do too.
It's.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And you know what? The thing about it is, it's the indoctrination of the female man. Feminize the man.
Yeah, and it's also to try to knock down the right, to discredit us. They have to make us sound like we're all a bunch of bigots. Well, at the meantime, they're being bigots themselves. Because
they are. Yeah, they're the biggest. And God, and we could talk about this forever. People, that were, especially during Pride Month. I had I'll tell you a little story real quick. I had a girl who was gay. She was looking for a job. She was also a veteran. She came to when I used to run the chamber, Veterans Chamber of Commerce here in Harrisburg. She came. We got her a job and everything like that. And she said that they ended up putting her in an area where they kind of put all their gay people, And she told me, she goes, I can't work there. She goes, because there's too much drama, number one. She goes, number two, those aren't the type of people I associate with. So I feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's gay.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I think Dan said it years ago. Those in the conservative parties need to get over themselves on the gay marriage thing. That discussion's over and done with. We need to move on. It's hurting the party too bad. It is what it is.
It is what it is. You're absolutely right. And that couldn't be more of a perfect phrase than that. And yeah, you're right. Conservative, they do need to get over it because, it's not going away anytime soon.
No. But I mean, if you look throughout history, and I'm not trying to relate it to Christianity, but if you look at the time of Jesus, what was very common during, that time period all through America, or the world, you had sex with anybody and everybody that moved. It wasn't, that big of a deal. It wasn't until recently that people got a stick in their ass about sex.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't mean to cut us off, but it's that time.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on. It was fun.
All right, I'll give all your information out again, how people can contact you and find you.
Sure. Moab Radio with Big Sarge, www.facebook.com/Moab Radio 101. You can catch us on Twitter, at Moab Radio 101, and look for our website coming out here pretty soon. And we're also on YouTube. So all you got to do is do a search for Moab Radio with Big Sarge on YouTube, and you'll find us. Hit subscribe, and when we go live, you'll catch the updates. Thanks, Big Joe. It's always a pleasure, man.
No problem. Anytime you want to call in, sir.
Roger that.
All right. Have a great night. All right, everybody. That's going to be the end of the show, and I want to thank everybody. Everybody is appreciated, and I'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m., same time slot, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. See you tomorrow. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.